Welcome back. So for this quick video, what I want to do is show you how you can make one of your previous worksheets a drag and place worksheet, a little more interactive for your students, especially now with distance learning. So I'm going to make this worksheet editable. What you're going to need to do is go to slides. Go to your Google Slides. So if you go straight into slides, to get a blank slide, you're going to press this plus at the bottom right, and you're going to go straight there. If you go into your Drive, so if I go to Google Drive, I could get my blank presentation by pressing this plus, new, slide, and I'm on a blank screen. So I'm going to start with my blank screen, starting fresh. I'm going to drag all of this, delete it. And I'm going to start by naming this project Interactive Transformation. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is arrange my page to my worksheet that I already pre-made, custom. The worksheets I always make is 8.5 by 11 standard paper. So this is my blank screen. So now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to upload a background. Okay, so now I'm here, background. I did show in the previous video how you get your images, how you save to an image and then upload it. So I'm going to get my assignment. Okay, page 1. I'm gonna do another file. I'm sorry, not file, plus blank, an extra one, and I'm gonna do it again. I want a background and I want page 2. The more pages you have, the more you're gonna have to do this process. Okay. Done. So now that I have my pages ready to go, what I'm going to do is here, what I'm making my students do is they're going to need to tell me which of these is the correct setup and drag it into its correct place. And then they're going to need to give me my final answer. So I'm going to create a box on the side so they could do this drag. So I'm going to do a shape. I'm going to make it a box. Here we go. Let's make it like that. I'm going to fill it in something that pops. So I like this green. And now that I have my box in there, what I'm going to do is create a text box. So I could tell them what I want them to do. So here, drag the following setups into its proper place. I changed the font, nice, maybe like that. And now I'm going to make this, input this. So what I do for my equations on Google Slides is I have an extension, which I suggest you use. It's called Equation.io. So go to your Google, let me go to this Chrome store, type in Equation.io, Equation.o, and add it. So mine's added, it's already installed in here. This is awesome to input any equations into your slides or into Google Forms and all those things. So I am going to start inputting these. Once you have inputted all of your equations in there, what you want to do, especially for this activity, I'm having my students drag and place it. So I'm going to make extra copies. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now that I made my extra copies, I drag them and place them right on top of them so you can't tell. So as soon as I my students grab this and place it where it goes, there's nothing has changed. It's still in there. I drag and I place, nothing has changed. So as I keep dragging and placing, I end up putting a good amount of them in there, like 5, maybe 6, depending on how many places it has to go. There's my drag and place, my interactive piece. Now that I have that ready to go, if I want, I could do the same thing for my final answer. So I could copy, input a different color maybe, just so they know this is my setup and this is my final answer. I'm going to just copy this to have it on top of that. So I'm going to say drag the following points to its proper location. And again, I will go about creating my points using this equation IO. So click on there, start inputting, start changing, input. So just for this, I'm just going to do just random points. I create my points, I insert it, I placed it in here. So I could place to a various amount of points. Just so everything, it doesn't have to be lined up, you place it the way you want. I'm going to change this red just because it's a little too red. Okay, so now that I have that ready to go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it, but I'm not going to share it by pressing share. I'm going to go to Google Classroom and upload it that way. So it should be one of my first ones in there. I want my students to have their own copy. Very, very important. So I create the points, let's say maybe 5 points, assign, and so forth. I only did 1 page. I didn't do 2 pages of these, but the process will be the same. Depends on your worksheet and what it is that you're doing. So now my students they each have a copy of this interactive assignment. When they click on that, they're going to see the worksheet, and on the side they're going to see the directions and what they have to do by dragging and placing. Another way of sharing this is by pressing share and sharing it as a link. But when you do that, what you want to do is make sure that you share a copy. So if I don't want to do this through Google Classroom, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, I'm gonna click share. Okay, I want to get a shareable link, and this is my link. I'm going to copy it. Copy link. Done. What you want to do before you even put this into your Google Classroom as a link is you want to go to your search board here, and at the top you see edit ? Sharing. You're going to get rid of that and you're going to write copy. And this is what you want to copy now. So this is your the link that you want your students to have. You want to have that copy at the very end. So if I press enter right now, you'll see what happens. It forces my students to make a copy for themselves. So each of my students is going to have their own copy, but it's easier to just make a copy from Google Classroom itself instead of having to do that extra step. But forcing a copy is great if you're sharing it with other teachers and you don't want them to make edits on your original. Okay, so hopefully that helps. And again, good luck with all of your distance learning, and